Are not here, so I am recording. Some people aren't here. I have to take attendance. Who's missing? Who sits there? Caden. Yes. That's the only person, right? Every other desk is full? Looks good. Okay. So, again, but this one's not going to be pretty. It's not going to work out nicely. So the very first question says, I got meters and I got feet. So what am I converting? Meters to feet, right? What do I have? 19 meters. So 19 meters times, now I got to make my fraction. Remember, it's what I want over what I have. So I want feet, correct? So I got to go back to my data booklet that I gave you guys yesterday, or turn back a couple of pages in my book to this page and find feet and meters. Do you have them? No, you don't, do you? What do you have? Feet and centimeters, yes? So you're in a bit of trouble now, yeah? But you're not, are you? Because 30.48 centimeters is what meters? You guys have meters on yours? Well, that was nice of me.
It's not on the one on the paper. It's the one.
The one in your book has it? Oh, that's nice of me. Shucks. On what page is that, Emma? 12. Apparently the one on page 12 actually has meters on it. Good gravy, I'm a nice guy. My wife found a list last night of 200 acceptable ways to curse according to mothers. So instead of swear words, things you can say. She read the whole list. It was pretty funny. There's some good stuff on there. What's really funny is it's a bunch of stuff I already say. My wife is like, you say all of these things instead of swearing, but you still swear too much. I'm like, fart off, Catherine. But I didn't say fart. Because it was funny at the time, right? And my kids were scandalized. Oh, Dad, don't say that to Mom. It was a joke. Because Mom's doing this thing about curse words. And kids are like, oh, yeah, that wasn't that funny, Dad. And then I gave them the silent treatment. It didn't matter. My kids like it when I give them the silent treatment. Kind of like you guys do too. If you would just shut up. So since you guys already have this, it's what? I want feet, so it's 1 foot over 0.3048 meters, right? Right? Meters cancels. The 1 always cancels. And I end up with 19 over 0.3048. And then you just do your math. Same thing. Same thing as we've already done. Now this is much more like what you will be doing in further levels of physics, chemistry, and biology. Because the things you'll be converting are totally different. Not like meters to centimeters. Understand? So the numbers are going to get funky here. So when you do this math, what do you get? You get a weird number with a bunch of decimals, right? 62.3. And we can stop there because the question says nearest foot, right? So what's the nearest foot? 62. Everybody got it? Now here's the problem with these. If you screw up your fraction, then you can screw up your answer much more easily, right? Because some of the things, your guys aren't totally aware of what's longer than what. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're changing yards to meters, for example, they're almost the exact same. So your answer, if you screw up your fraction, will be almost the exact same. And if you're uncomfortable with which is longer, you're not going to be aware of what's going down. So let's look at this next one. I got 62 miles and I got 98 kilometers. How many of those do I have to convert? One of them. Does it matter which one? No, because once you know the kilometer, the miles in kilometers, or the kilometers in miles, you're set, right? Because the question isn't how far did they drive in each, it's who drove further. So the answer is what? A number or a name? An answer is the name here, right? So all you got to do is tell me who drove further. It doesn't matter which you convert. But I like doing this one because it's really useful for you guys to remember that miles are significantly longer than kilometers. And this can screw you up. For example, it's 3 a.m. and you're driving through Montana and you see a road sign that says the next town is 98 away. And you look at your gas gauge and you see that you have a very little bit of gas left. And you, because it's 3 a.m. and you are tired, you forget that you are in America. And you think that 98 means what? Kilometers. But what does it really mean? Miles. And you look at your gas gauge and you say to yourself, self, you can make it to that next town at 3 a.m. And then what really happens? You run out of gas in the middle of the interstate when your wife's asleep in the car beside you. And it's 3 a.m. and you got to walk to get gas. I'm just saying that could happen. I'm not saying it would, because you have to be a real idiot for that to happen. Right? Only a moron would forget you were in America and that the road signs are not in kilometers anymore. Right? You guys don't know anybody that would do that. Good kids. I like you guys. So, which are we converting? Does it matter? Who drove further? You either did 62 miles to kilometers. So I want kilometers. So it's 1.609 over 1 mile, right? Or you went the other way and did 98, and I want miles. So it's 1 mile divided by 1.609 km. So it's either 98 divided by 1.609 or 62 times 1.609. But they're both going to give us different numbers, but who drove further? Go. Hannah drove further? Yeah, she did. She totally did. Good. I didn't want to work that out. Don't get stuck in the United States. It's a frightening country. It isn't really. America's lovely. If, of course, you aren't from 7 countries in the world. Or, of course, if you're not a naturalized American citizen who's had your rights taken away because your neighbor voted for an idiot. It's beside the point. This question is always fun for me, too. Because how do we register our heights? Feet and inches. That's how we say it. When you guys go get your learners, how many of you have gone to get a learners? None of you? Are any of you 16? Oh, you have?
I haven't gone there.
You haven't gone yet? Why?
Because I can't. Because the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, fair enough. When I was 16, I couldn't go either. Because my parents didn't have a car. We lived in Vancouver. We were so poor. And we lived in Vancouver, so you could take a bus everywhere. You're going Monday? Yes! When you go, they're going to ask you your height. And you're going to tell them your height is what? 5'5". And then the girl is going to go, I shouldn't say the girl, the woman who is working, I shouldn't even say the woman, it might be a man. The person who is working there, but in all the times I've ever gone to get my license, it's always been a woman. The person that is working there is going to ask your height, you're going to say 5'5", and they're going to have to look at a chart. Because they're not allowed to enter 5 foot 5 inches, because where do we live? Canada. They have to do their height, they have to enter your height in centimeters. So they got a little chart so they can check it because they can't do math. The last time I went, because of course I'm a math nerd, this question, I did my height with the kids to find out what my height was. So I knew my height in centimeters. And I told the woman, I'm 177 centimeters. And she still went to the chart because she's so used to hearing somebody give a height and looking at the chart. And she looks down at the chart and says, what? I said 177 centimeters. But then she was mean to me because when she was doing hair color, she didn't look at me. She just was looking at the screen. Hair, eyes brown. Eyes don't change. Hair color brown. And I said, lady, really? She's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have to change that to gray. And I was like, that's okay. I'm used to it. I know. I'm old. My mother-in-law refuses to say her hair is gray. She says she's got blonde hair. I'm like, okay, Carla. Her hair is like that white. When my kids were making her as a me on the Wii, they gave the me for Oma white hair, and Oma went ape. I have blonde hair! Ah! And the kids are like, okay, Oma, no problem. Oma's a liar. Do any of you have an Oma? There's a Dutch person in here, or a German person in here. You call your grandparents Oma and Opa? Yeah. All right. So, 6'2". Interesting question. Is there a conversion for 6 feet 2 inches to centimeters? There isn't, is there? There's a conversion for inches to centimeters. There's a conversion for feet to centimeters. So what do I got to do here? I have a couple of options. What would you guys do? Mutter quietly behind my hand. Max! You'd go all feet, or all inches, right? That's perfectly acceptable. Is there anything wrong with that category, or that strategy? No, absolutely not. Right? Here's something else you could do. You could go, you know that 6 feet. Now, here's the mistake. Don't do this. Every year, somebody says, well, that's 6.2 feet. Is it? No. Don't make that mistake. I'm glad to see nobody is erasing right now because, of course, it isn't 6.2 feet. You could make it a decimal, but the decimal is 2 over 12, isn't it? Right? So, 6 foot 2 inches. I would say that's 6 times 12 to get 72 plus 2. This dude's 74 inches tall. Then I would convert to centimeters. How many centimeters? Centimeters. And what I have is inches. So what is it? 2.54 over 1. The 1 cancels. And I get what for an answer? 187.96. So 188. And now Alex can go to Quebec and say his height to girls. In case any of you care, Alex would be a giant in Quebec. Quebec people are short. I don't know why. I am of average height in Quebec. I love going to visit there because I am not short. And I love going to visit there because everybody speaks French and you can get smoked meat. If you haven't had Montreal smoked meat, your loss. If you have, you know of what I am speaking. It is the most delicious thing in the world. Have you had it? Yeah. And it's spectacular, isn't it? I know, right? Real Montreal smoked meat. Not pastrami or corned beef. That's not the same thing. Real Montreal smoked meat. They'll even send it to you. I got a bunch of it FedExed to myself from Montreal. Because you can buy it at Costco. It's not the same. Justin Trudeau likes a particular deli in Montreal. I go to that deli all the time when I'm in Montreal. I say it like I go to Montreal all the time. I've been to Montreal thrice. But I like to say, whenever I'm in Montreal, I like to go to the deli that Justin Trudeau goes. I haven't met him. But he was a substitute drama teacher at the high school I went to in Vancouver. But not when I was there, because we're the same age. He's prime minister. I teach math. What are you going to do? But he started as a teacher, a drama teacher, which according to our hero Stephen Harper made him not ready to be prime minister. Because apparently teachers are too stupid to be a prime minister. Apparently. That's how I took it. You can only be a good prime minister if you're an economist and boring. That's what Stephen Harper was. He was an economist. He was boring. He didn't have a cool wife and kids either. All right. Oh, I love this question. This is a good question because I've seen trucks get stuck under bridges. It's so funny. So have you guys. Well, you haven't seen the truck stuck. You know when you're driving home from Vancouver and there's that railway bridge over the highway? The next time you drive under there, have a look at the concrete that is holding up the bridge and see how many chunks are missing from it. And then realize that, oh yeah, a kilometer back down the road, there was that big yellow flashing light that said, if this is flashing, get the hell off the highway. Because it means you're too tall and you're going to slam into the tunnel. Because guess why? People slam into tunnels all the time. Duncan? My wife was one time at a hotel that a garbage truck did that in the underground parking, went through the pipes, burst the water pipe. No water in the hotel. In the whole hotel. I know, people do it all the time. I was once in Vancouver, there's water pipes going under the bridges that go to Richmond, and a boat went under there with a crane, hit the water pipe. Anyway, so what are we converting? Will the vehicle fit under the bridge? What do I have to convert? Do I have to convert meters to feet or feet to meters, or does it matter? It doesn't matter, does it? Everybody go and see what happens. Do the one you would choose. I like this question so much. The way I did it, does the truck fit? The bridge is 3.58, the truck is 3.5, right? He fits with 8 centimeters to spare. Right? But if I went the other way, 3.5 meters to feet, right? Times 0.3048 over 1. Oops, I did that one backwards. I want 3.5 meters. I want feet. 0.1 over 0.3048. When I convert this way, I get 11.48 meters. Does the truck fit? 11.48 feet, I mean. Does the truck fit? Does it? It's 11.5 feet. The bridge is 11 foot 9 inches. Does it fit? I'm messing with your head. Does it fit? Be strong. Yes or no? 0.48, 11 foot 9 inches. Does it fit? Yeah, it still fits because 11.48 is 11.5 feet, which is 11 feet 6 inches, right? Fits with that much to spare. Would you risk driving your truck under there? Of course not. One time I saw something on the news, some guy got stuck in a tunnel in Cincinnati or something and nobody could get him out. Everyone was like, oh my God, we're going to have to rebuild the whole tunnel. And then it was a kid, like a 12-year-old kid said to his dad, why don't they just let the air out of his tires? And they drove him out. Dropped it down far enough that they could get him out. Ruined all his tires, but saved having to rebuild the tunnel. All right, so you guys should be good with this now, yeah? Everyone agree? Okay, I want to shut up because I promised you work time. You need to do the rest of page 18, the 2 questions on 19, and the 2 worksheets about conversions. One of them is between systems. That one is quite legible. You can read every question on there. But please turn back to page 16, is it? Conversions within systems. Page 16 is that? Most of that page is pretty readable. Is there anything on there you guys can't read on page 16? Everyone is okay with 16? 17 has some real problems. Number 5 is really hard to read. Or is it? Did I fix it in your book or not? Because apparently I fixed some other things in your book that I didn't know I fixed. Did I fix this? Or does it look crappy like that? It's crappy? Okay. Are there any other ones that are crappy? Everyone's okay for everyone else except for the florist, number 5? So the florist, it's 10 inches of ribbon. I'm only writing the important stuff. Okay? 10 inches of ribbon per bouquet. I love that word. And she has 5 yards of ribbon. Everybody cool? So you got 6 multiplications to do, 1 word problem, and then these 2 worksheets. Okay? Go! And the answers will be put up for you tomorrow like we did today.